I do like the fact that I'm interviewing you here because like this is sort of, I feel like, has had such a big part in your MMA career because just like the comfort level that you found here, the responsibility that you have here, I just feel like that's really like you reached that next level of a championship level because of sort of the bodies that are in here, the personalities that are in here, and like what you have got here.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like you guys watched our training today. We have some of the best guys in the world, and half of them don't even train here. They're just, got a Russian guy, a Johnny Eblem, a Georgia guy. So it's like, we just got such a good welcoming community. Now, mind you might have to fight one, but we have such a good welcoming community, and you get so much talent and just different looks. You show up every day I show up, I'm like, oh, there's a new world-class fighter here. All right, I guess we're fighting today, sir. Yeah. So it's we got a really good thing going here.
Would you say like this is where you feel like, is this like your happy place? Is this like the best place for you?
Oh,
is it in this gym?
Well, you gotta know, it's funny. We train for like an hour, but we stay for like 2 hours just talking life, So it's like fighting. It's great, man. It's like, there's a reason why if you come at 6 o'clock to the recreational class, you got like lawyers, construction workers, doctors. It's like, I know a lot of fans don't participate in training, but it's one of the best things you can do from your life, from like a community standpoint, from a mental health standpoint. Training is the best thing anybody can do. What's real different about this trip than the last one though? Like I was talking to Nick Sick, and he said when he walked into the locker room before the first one with Izzy, that he felt like your confidence wasn't as high as it could have been, and then he kind of talked you out of it, and then you went into the fight and you were confident. But it's like, man, is it really different now that you've held the belt? Let me tell you, the curse of being an abused kid. You are born with natural low self-esteem. Like it doesn't matter what you do in life, you always look at yourself like a failure. Like Eric asked me to bring my belt to give to, he wanted to show his daughters like a sports team. I was like, yeah, dude, I haven't looked at since I won it. It's been in the closet. I think it's like one of the curses of like having like low self-esteem. Is just, when you're a kid, dude, and you're just a doormat your entire life. So every time I go in there, it's always like this moment of like, do I really belong here? But I will die for what I want. And I've lived my entire life on that.
When is that, is that feeling that you're talking about, that inadequacy, when you're screaming at Israel Adesanya in the fifth round, is that gone? Is like that feeling completely removed from you in a situation like that?
It is, when you're fighting, you want to be like as stoic as possible. Like, and there's so many guys that when they go in there and they're thinking about all this different, your brain should be blank and you should just be focusing on the task at hand. And, who I am as a person, when that cage door shuts, all I am is Sean the fighter.
You watched that fight between you and Dricus?
Yeah.
Eric had to make you do it.
Yeah.
Why?
I've never watched a fight of mine ever.
Ever?
Ever, no. I don't watch my fights.
You've literally never watched, up until this point, you've never, any, like earlier in your career, ever?
Maybe if I have a cool stoppage, I might watch a highlight of it to repost, but like, no. I just do low self-esteem. Even when I'm doing things right, in my head, I'm doing things wrong.
So like, you're worried that you're gonna watch a fight like that and just hate what you're seeing, or what?
Just like, you just have such a low opinion. Again, you guys, I'm a really happy guy. I'm happy, dude. My life is fucking good. I have so much. Generally, I wake up every day, like I woke up today and it's like, man, that's a beautiful day. My girl, that's a beautiful day. But when you just have like that demon on your back, you just, like, don't like to look at yourself, don't like to see yourself. Just, bored reflections, But yeah, no, again, happy guy, but yeah, I prefer not to.
So how did Eric talk you into doing it?
Force me, dude. He just like, generally if you ask me to do something nicely, I'm like, all right, I'll do it. But he just kind of forced me.
So was it just the two of you?
Yeah, me and Lancelot, the manager.
Where'd you guys do it? So you're sitting there watching it, and then so describe what that experience was like watching your fight. Not something you normally do.
I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't like to watch myself on TV. I just don't.
Were you able to take what Eric wanted you to take out of it though?
Of course.
And just
again,
what was the benefit of it?
The hard thing was when I got that cut, it really changed the dynamic of the fight. But I just think with this fight, it just needs to be a dog fight. More pressure, less skill. Even like you watch some of my fights where I've lost a close decision, and you go and you tally the strikes. tally the significant strikes. Look at his face after, look at my face after. And the judging criteria isn't like boxing. Boxing, you can be a Mayweather, you can pick a guy apart, and they could be like, damn, dude, that was some clean boxing. MMA, you can throw 100 punches and only land like 10 of them. And if those 100 punches are aggressive and they're smacking my shoulder, the MMA gods will count it, or the refs will count it. So it's like, the MMA is a sport. It has a very unique judging criteria. That's how it goes.
Well, Eric told me, and he mentioned in another interview, that he mentioned at the end of the fight, like you say it's got to be more of a dog fight. He said you got out-dogged. And he said that you recognized that. Like he looked over at you.
It was more the cut. Like at the end of the day, dude, you get, I mean, they had to, that headbutt, they had to stitch muscle. Like it was so deep. And I'm a man of vision. You know, you take my vision, it's like, there we go. So it's like, it's not that. It's, you know, let me take a pint of blood, put it in your eye, and let me see how you feel. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I mean, I've never, full disclosure, I don't fight. So like, this is not coming from a judging thing, but like, I wonder if like one of your guys fought. I could see you being like, you're
just blood.
You're a great coach.
The end of that question, it's just blood. You probably never experienced this, but when you have like blood in your eye, your vision fucking gone.
Yeah.
Just blood. That's it.
So that's not really even something you can bite down on your mouthpiece. It's like when he says out-dog you, it's just like you're saying you can't see.
The fifth round, actually, there's a guy named Ray Sefo. He OG kickboxer, like he's a savage. So I remember like he was telling me like 3 weeks before I left about he broke an orbital in a fight and he couldn't see. And I remember in between rounds, I'm listening to Ray. I'm thinking about Ray Sefo, like you were in the same position where you couldn't see out of an eye. And he told me, he's like, dude, I just put my hands up and fought. So a lot of the adjustment, the fifth round was just like, all right, well, I can't see. We're just gonna go with a high guard and just throw some haymakers. So a lot of the adjustment, it wasn't necessarily like dog. It was just, I could not see.
I've seen you, and you've talked about it. The guy comes into this gym and is trying to show off, maybe fighting one of your amateurs. You put him in his place and you show like this killer instinct that everybody gets to see on camera. Some people, and I would say even myself sometimes, Eric sometimes, feel like, where is that in the fight? Like, go after it. Have that like nasty edge to you.
When you're fighting world-class fighters, like we got Johnny Eblam at a Bellator here. You watch me and Johnny fight, it is a fucking chess match. Like you're fighting, it's like world-class level of striking meets world-class level of striking. You go watch the pinnacle of any sport, and you're like, well, why is it different? Because I'm fighting the very best. So you bring a guy in here that like, you bring anybody who's not a top world champion, and it's easy peasy, but you bring in an elite level striker who's been training their entire life for this moment, it is a chess match.
For sure. And I completely understand that, and I appreciate that level of the sport. I feel like with the judging, and this is something that like you and Eric have talked a lot about leading up to this fight, is that sometimes because, like you said, the weird, like the very distinct scoring criteria, sometimes they just go for the person like they think wants it more, right?
Look at the actual strikes landed per round. You just have judges that like, but you know, to the judges' credit, dude, I'll watch sparring of me. Like someone will like send me a clip sparring, and I'm like, damn, dude, this guy's like putting it on me. And then, you know, you really look closely, and I'm like, every time he's putting it on me, I'm cracking him.
Yeah.
He's bloody, I'm not. 4-ounce gloves with a cage, it is a little bit harder to see, but I mean, there's a reason why every time I've lost a decision, the guy's face looks like he's been hit by a truck, and I might have a black eye or a scratch.
I would imagine that would be like a weird place to go into a fight feeling like, tell me
I should be a boxer or what?
No, I get a very clear sense that like, you know, you're better than Dricus. Like you feel deep in your soul, I am better than Dricus. But I gotta prove it in some way to these three people that don't understand.
It sucks because I can't go in there and be a technical martial artist or a technical boxer and jab. I gotta go in there and be like, fucker, there's the middle, hands up. Let's throw fucking haymakers, because if I outstrike you, just because you're so awkward, I'm going to lose this decision. So the only change is, man, just, all right, well, I guess we just get in the middle and fight now.
Yeah.
This is what you want, judges. You guys work for the UFC, apparently.
Well, I think did you put it, it was either on your, like a video, or maybe you tweeted it to him. There's just like a handshake agreement, no takedowns. Why did you throw that out?
Yeah, okay, wrestling. It's MMA, dude, fucking, but even wrestling, dude, it's like, It's such a stupid scoring criteria. Like, you could take someone down and keep them down for 5 seconds. How do you even score that? You did nothing. You took me down for 5 seconds. I get up and now I'm out striking you. The even score that? Like, as a whole grand scheme of a fight, what did that accomplish? Absolutely nothing. But to judges, oh, his back touched the ground.
No.
That's a point.
Yeah.
Like, this ain't collegiate wrestling, fighting.
Yeah. Are you? I would imagine that you're more confident going into this one than even you were the first time, because you felt him, you've been in there with him, and you feel like had you had your vision the whole time that
Oh,
you would
I'm in the cakewalk. You know, man, I'm always. You could bring a influencer here with the camera, and I don't underestimate them. So it's like me and Dricus have been thinking about this since we fought. Before we fought, it is going to be a war. He wants it. I want it. I'm confident. He's confident, but I think that I'm going to piece him apart.
You said that you haven't taken the belt out at all, but yet you were definitely willing to like hold off and wait for what you deserved, what you felt you deserved was a title opportunity. So clearly it must mean something to you.
You know what it was, man? How that fight ended needed a rematch. Like, if it ended any other way, I'd be like, fuck it, dude. But how that fight ended, it needed a rematch. And even when I win the belt again, I'm like, fuck it, it's a belt, dude. I live so many different lives that I don't need or want validation in life. I don't need or want it. I like to fight. It's my job. It's what I make money, but it's like, I just don't need validation. I want to fight Dricus because shit wasn't unsettled. I don't give a about the belt. Like, I don't care about that. I want to fight it because it needs to happen and we need to settle it once and for all.
What have you felt like that about an opponent or a fight before, where it's just unfinished business? Like, this doesn't sit well with me. You
know, just this one was the most unfinished. Just, considering the headbutt, the scorecard, the striking, the numbers. This one felt a little bit more unfinished, and I got no ill will towards Dricus, but we got to settle, and he knows it too.
But having said all that, you had a very honest, real reaction to winning that fight and getting the belt put around you.
Oh, of course, man. I've been doing this my entire fucking life, but it doesn't matter if it's that fight, any fight. I mean, any fight you win, you gotta understand, dude, this is my life. Any fight you win matters. And yeah, is winning fucking big gold belt cool? It's cool, man. Of course it's cool. But at the end of the day, it's like, if you are not aware of the game that we all play, and you eat the pudding and you drink the Kool-Aid and you can't look past it, and this is everything in life, dude. Like, I can't tell you how many I know that work for companies, and then they really believe in the company. They believe in the product. They believe in it. They're true to it. And then they get laid off or they don't get a raise. And then they're just like, well, you're telling me you thought that your corporate overlords gave about you? Oh, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? They don't give about us.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to come to that realization. That is like a pretty across the board thing.
It's
in life.
From fighting. Again, I make a lot of money, and I'm so grateful for the UFC, because where I am, I would never be where I'm at today if it wasn't for the UFC. But come on, dude.
Well, the coolest thing that comes out of that, though, is that there are a lot of people around the world that said, if Sean Strickland can win a UFC championship, then I can go do this, right? Like, that's been the coolest thing to come out of it.
And this is like one of the greatest things that I have, and makes me a little emotional talking about it. Like, when I talk to so many random people who are like, man, you know what, dude, like, my life kind of sucked growing up, and my life still kind of sucks, but I see you, and like, it kind of pushes me to, go to the gym, train, pushes me to want to get a better job, to want to make more money. And like, I will say, out of everything I've ever done, that's probably the most where I'm like, damn, dude, like, I'm just a white trash that hits people in the face, but like, it makes me happy. If there's any validation that I like, that's probably the best validation I've ever got.
For sure. Does that give you like any motivation on like the night of the fight? Do you find yourself being like, I got to win for these guys? Like, these guys want to see me beat Dricus. They want to see me walk forward on him. They want to see me put it on him. They don't want to see me lose some close decision.
Man,
like, do you take any motivation from that?
I don't think fans really give a man. It's like, if you really got to ask them, I don't think they I think fans like to see people succeed, and they like to see some people lose. I got a lot of haters.
My last question is, I've one of the things I like about this matchup is you have given Dricus props in terms of like, he is a competitor, he is confident, and he's there to win. Like he's going to fight to the death, I think is the way maybe you said it or someone else from your team said it. Like he's there. What
he lacks for skill, he makes up with heart.
Yeah. How do you try to break somebody like that? Can you, or do you just know you can't?
So this is like what I tell people at the highest levels of competition. Break. Like I don't break, he doesn't break. You think at some point a round's gonna come where he's gonna get off the stool and be like, I don't want to be here. You could blind him an eye, break his nose, and he's gonna get up, me included, and we're gonna fight. At our level, we don't break and we'll die for what we want. So that's why it comes down to me skill. I mean, you see in the room today, I mean, how many world-class ranked guys you have.
Yeah.
We have extreme, we have some of the best guys. And when you walk in that cage, you just know you put in the work.
Yeah.
I could not have squeezed anything. I mean, I could not have squeezed anything out of my body more.
Yeah.
We sparred Thursday. Me and Johnny did a hard 5. After we did a hard 5, we jumped in and sparred and helped Edmund Shabazin for his fight. We helped another guy for his fight. Like,
yeah.
I've done everything in my power to win the fight, and I believe I will.
Is there ever I mean, that's what you sign up for, and that's why I think people love this sport is because like of lines like that where it's like, I am willing to die. Like I make up my mind that I'm willing to do it. Is that like a conversation you have to have every time? Like I'm sure that there are days where like, maybe I don't really want to die for this. Like, is that something you have to think like actually?
I try not to think about it till I get close to the fight. You have so many guys that just think like they lay in bed at night and they think about it and they think about it and they think about it. And this is like, and this just isn't just fighting. This is every aspect in life. Like I remember when I was arrested when I was a kid, dude, I would lay in bed every night till like 5 till the sun came up and just thinking about like, oh, I got to go see a judge in a week. I got to see a judge in 5 days. I got to go sit in front of a judge. And it kind of ruined your life because you're so fixated on something that hasn't happened yet. So like as a fighter, you don't want to think about it. When it comes time to fight, you switch that in your head. You say, I'm going to die for this. I'm ready for this. But I try not to get there. I
know I said last question 2 questions ago, but one more. Were you freaking out at all when the blood was going into your eye? Were you like, how am I going to do this? I got 3 rounds left. What was going through your mind?
Let me say, dude, you want to talk about any moment in my fight career that was the most challenging. I remember there was a moment I wiped my blood out of my eye, and I'm like, I can't see. Like, I cannot see. It's funny. I shoot left-handed, right? So I'm left eye dominant too. So it's like the moment that left eye goes, you're just like, everything is just different. And I remember that was like in my brain, I was like, man, I can't see a punch. I didn't take damage until the eye got cut. And I was like, man, I can't see punches. I can't see what's coming in front of my face. If it wasn't Ray Sefo talking to me, like I heard Ray Sefo's voice, hey, kind of like, I'm a grown-ass man. Don't be a pussy. Put your hands up, bite your mouthpiece, and just throw some punches. And I was like, all right, Ray Sefo, I'm going to do you right. Ray Sefo, if you guys don't know him, he's a savage. He's the only guy in the gym, dude. Anybody else? Yeah. Anybody else in the gym, they come talk shit to me, all right. Yeah. Lock the cage door. Let's settle this like men. Yeah. Ray says some shit to me. I'm like, Ray, listen, dude. You're a grown-ass man. I'm a grown-ass man. Like, why don't we just work this shit out together, dude? I've known you for a long time. Yeah. Let's not barbarians. Yeah. He's fucking OG.
Man, you and Ray ever end up fighting? Call me so I can run over here and watch that.
Fight, bro. You're gonna see me like what's gonna happen if I fight Ray. We're gonna go to the parking lot. I'm gonna put on my track shoes. I'm just gonna run circles till his fat ass gets tired. No offense, Ray. You're a little thick, my man. You're getting a little thick in your old age.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Yeah, really appreciate it. Great interview. Thank you, bro.